Hey guys, what is up? It is Lee here, and welcome to a new video. It's going to be an Acheron Mammoth guide. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. They are the new level 96 Slayer creatures that came out just today. So I'm going to be doing a first day guide and hopefully give you guys a few tips on the way. So this guide isn't going to be perfect, obviously, because it's on day release, but it's going to be similar structured to my Ripper Demon and Camel Warrior guide in a sense of the guide structure. Anyway, the gear then, we're going to jump straight into the gear. I use full Torva just for added range defense and also life point bonus. You can switch this to Bandos. They are quite kind of easy to kill. I have killed a few myself. Silverhawk boots, you can use ultimates here, so if you want the added agility XP, you can bring Silverhawks. If not, then you can just switch them with either Steadfast, Bandos, or Torva boots. There is no problem there. I do bring a Scrimshaw of Vampirism. Obviously this heals a certain percentage of the damage you deal, and you're going to be protecting melee, so you're not going to be using soul splits, so having this is an added benefit. A lot of people in my previous guides questioned whether or not it is viable to take an aura. I mean, if you're on Slayer task and depending on how many you get assigned, then yes, you can take an aura. I'd say like Vampirism Penance or something along the lines, but if you're going to be doing bossing sort of like shortly after, then I wouldn't recommend you wasting your aura on something which isn't going to be worth wasting on, to be honest. I take a blood necklace as well. You can take the brawlers or the fury, whichever you do have. If not, then just bring a normal fury, a regular brawler's necklace, or whatever necklace you have, as long as it has melee bonuses, of course. Inventory then is just overloads, super prayer renewals, prayer restores. I do bring a replenishment potion. This is basically an adrenaline and a prayer flask in one, so if my adrenaline's running low and I need to use devotion, which you will be needing to during the fight, then you can just quickly pot up. But don't worry, I will be also showing the method to use without devotion, so yeah, don't be too worried. The inventory then is just mainly full of rocktails. No brews are needed really, these are kind of easy to do, to be honest. And then if we jump into the pack yak, then we do have a full inventory, so that's pretty standard. Anyway, what I'll do now is, as always, show you the way of getting there, and then we shall be going through the methods of killing them. So, the mammoths are located off the coast of Relica, so what you want to do is obviously teleport to Relica Lodestone. This is possibly the fastest way of getting there. You can also use fairy rings as well and go to code DKS, but it isn't really a point to it when you can just use a lodestone and just keep running north past the rock crabs, and then you'll see a boat platform. Go onto the Fremnik boat, and it'll put you to an island with the mammoths on, so yeah, it's pretty easy to get to. Alright then, so there's a few little special attacks these mammoths do use. I'm going to be starting off by going through the first one, which you're going to be seeing in this first kill right now. And it's basically just the mammoth's basic range attack, which what you'll see the mammoth sort of curl its trunk and roll its head back to one side. And also, you'll occasionally see like an iceberg held in the trunk as well, and as you can see, they drop from the sky. So now to dodge this attack, it's simple. When the head of the mammoth, when you see that head move to one side, then all you want to do is simply just move out of the way, step either side of where that rock is going to fall, and you will avoid the damage. Right then, so the second and most important special attack the mammoth does have is a charge attack. Now it does have two adrenaline bars, one currently going up now in yellow, and then when it does reach 50%, usually it performs its charge attack, which we'll see right now. Alright then, so here is that special attack that I was talking about with its blue adrenaline bar. After 5 seconds this bar will become full, and it will end up doing its charge attack, which we'll see right now, and the ways to avoid it. So there's two main ways you can avoid this charge, which it varies between charge attacks. It can do between 1 and 3 per kill, or per charge, and the main way is devotion. Use devotion, stand there and tank it, or the other way, it was what I shown on screen, which it did still get hit from, which was stepping away from my last known spot. It is kind of weird because they do tend to run in all types of directions, so stepping away from your last known location does work, but not all the time. It's kind of unreliable. These mammoths also use 4 types of abilities. They use Smash, Sever, Freedom, and Pulverize. So the only other issue really with mammoths is they do deactivate your prayer for a brief time, as seen on screen right there. You get injured only for a few seconds before you can pop your prayer back on, but their melee hits don't really deal that much damage. It's mainly the range hits, the icebergs which they throw at you, deal the most damage. I've had these hit around 4.5k, so 3.5k on me. It could be higher, but that's what I've been dealt so far. So they're the main attacks to avoid, obviously the charge attack and also their throwing iceberg attack, which is a range attack. So as I said before, devotion blocks the charge, as does moving from your last known spot, and also if you step underneath a mammoth, so you can't exactly walk slaughter on mammoths, if you stand under the mammoth, it acts in a sense like corpse beast. It does stamp on you, and it can stamp up to 5.5k, so just be wary of that. I would also suggest altering your camera angle so it's as far vertical upwards as it possibly can be and as far zoomed out. This is possibly the best way you can use your character to dodge the iceberg attacks and obviously save misclicking underneath the mammoth and then getting stomped. The use of Debilitate as well, which is a defensive ability which reduces the mammoth's damage dealt to you by 50% for a brief amount of time, also works quite well. And also, because you do a lot of moving around, dodging the attacks, Silverhawk boots I'd say are much better than Torva or Bandos if you want more, if you want to gain agility XP, on the side going for 99, 120, 200 mil agility, then I would advise Silverhawk boots because it did go off quite a lot whilst making this guide. So yeah, they are a armor piece that I would advise if you do want to get a bit of agility gains. So my opinions then of these mammoths, they are much simpler to kill than the previous other 3 Slayer creatures, which is great. They're not as harsh on the mind as you'd say. And also I'm going to talk about the drops. The drops are practically all noted. They drop a few rune items, rune kite shields, rune plate bodies, which are not too bad. Dragon longswords they also drop, so if you do want to bring in some magic note paper to save them cluttering up your inventory, then by all means do so. And all the other regular drops are noted, which is great. And all the drops are between around 11k base drop, so no matter what drop you get, it is going to be around 11k no matter what. And it's also great that Jagex have noticed player feedback and have actually updated the other Slayer creatures to drop a base value as well, which is fantastic. So the main item that they do drop, they don't drop anything, any weapons, anything like that. Obviously they drop the Raptor Key Part 4, which is to unlock the Raptor's chest, which that drop is just so rare. I think it's around 1 in 2k per key piece, so yeah, they are very, very rare. So they also drop a Mammoth Tusk. Now I think this is used to create the level 99 summoning familiar, the little mammoth, which I am yet to get, but I'll probably end up, when I do get one, I'll end up probably trying it out and maybe even selling the pouch. This might be a good money maker if they are kind of common, but I'm not really quite sure if they are. I've killed around 40 right now and I haven't received a Mammoth Tusk just yet, but when I do I'm going to see how much it does sell for. Anyway guys, that is going to be it from me. I do hope you enjoyed this mini guide. I'm trying to keep it as simplistic as possible, and until then guys, I shall see you in the next one. Peace.